Hi, thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring my March favorites. Thank you so much for tuning into the March favorites. This is the Get Ready With Me where I demo all of the products that I talked about. Just a quick reminder, if you have not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate it. We are on our way to 25,000, 9 years into YouTube. So it's been a while. We are making slow growth, but we have a very dedicated subscriber base. So thank you so much if you are returning and you've subscribed. Thank you so much if you are new and have never seen a video before. I focus on luxury beauty, fashion, lifestyle. So if you enjoy those things, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. It makes a world of difference. And if you want to stay tuned to see all of the favorites in action, please keep watching. And because we are using a palette where I know there's a little bit of fallout that will happen, we're going to do eyes first. So let's start with this. Now, this is not new at all, but it is Brun Talpa, and I love this shade. It's by Chanel. It's probably my favorite single shadow of theirs because it's a lovely one and done. You can do something like a wash of color, you can just build it into the crease, and then it will give you dimension just because of the reflective quality of it. Taking a REPHR number 1 brush, I'm just gonna go all over the lid. Now this one does not have fallout, and I know many of you have this as well. So this one has a nice creamy texture to it, and I feel like I haven't worn this for a while because I've been testing out so many other eyeshadows, but I thought, let me take this out again and get it in rotation because it really is so versatile. Like you can do something minimal like that. Now we're going to go in with this Victoria Beckham palette. This is the one in Night Flash. What I decided this was best for was to enhance other one and dones or other palettes because of this shade right here, which is very deep. So we're going to go in with that first. Take a 14 mini and just take that deepest color there and add that to the outer corner. It does a nice job of building that contrast. So automatic intensification of this eyeshadow. This is the one that has the fallout. I have to say, because this Chanel one and done is a little creamier, it is sticking a little bit better than if it was to be just on its own. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just blend that in. We're gonna go back to Brun Talpa here, and then I'm going to build that into the crease. So actually, I feel like if this Night Flash had a crease color like this built in it, it would be really a very usable palette. But because it's missing this medium kind of shade, that's what makes this one not as user-friendly as some of the other palettes that are out there. We're going to take this shade now and then place it in between these two colors. So I'm gonna just blend that with my finger. This is really the easiest way to do this. And this is less glowy than the Brun Talpa. I'm just gonna take this darkest shade again and build an eyeliner. Just pressing it into the lash line. So it's defined, but it's soft. This is a Chantecaille shade and Sweet brush. We're going to take this vanilla shade. We could have put this down first if we wanted to, more as a base, but I'm just going to run that right under the brow bone. Before I add mascara, I'm gonna add a little bit of the Chanel primer because that's going to help me not powder. Just right in the center, right between the brows as well. Okay, so we're gonna let that set for a moment and we're going to go in with the Faux Longest Lash Mascara. When it makes this noise, I know it's time to get a new one, so it's time for a new one. Okay, so we got everything eyes-wise done. And actually there wasn't nearly as much fallout as there is when I don't have Brun Talpa on. So if you have a creamier eyeshadow that you want to work with and just add that for dimension, then it seemed to work really nicely. So I know I've shown this many times, this foundation, but we're going to try something, and this is a little bit of an experiment because, like I said, I know we love this foundation already. I've shown this many times. But if you have something glowy that you wanted to mix this with, I actually read about this morning. So usually I don't put experiments in my favorites videos, but I also love this item. This is the Chanel No. 1 Red Camellia Skin Enhancer in Soft Pink, and it has a little bit of a peachy tone to it. So we're gonna add that to the foundation. So we're going to mix that, and I'm going to go in with a light layer. So I've got a BK Beauty 115 here. And we're just gonna mix that all together. So a little bit of glow, we're gonna sheer that out. Can't remember who it was that I was reading that did this, but I really loved the idea, because you can definitely sheer this foundation out. You can also increase its coverage, and it's also quite buildable. So it's really versatile. You can go directly on the skin, or you can put it on the back of your hand like I did there. So just continuing to mix a little bit. Yeah, I've got 2 CR and I have 3.5 N, which is the perfect combination for me. Yeah, a lot of makeup looks I find are inspired by articles that I read about makeup, of course. If I can find the article, I'll link it below for you. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the Westman Atelier concealer, and we will powder, because I had a question about what powder I would use under the eye, and there's really only one. This is an M2. Okay, now let's take this number 71 brush. Taking the Clé de Peau in Honey as well, just to cancel out the darkness there, and then really quick concealing here. That's in the shade Honey. Before I powder, I'm going to do my regular routine under the eye, which is Trench by Victoria Beckham, just to cancel this red. And then we're going to go in with Sweed Bright. This really just does a nice job of subtle brightening here. I'm just going to take this fluffy brush here and go in with the Clé de Peau powder. So this is the former packaging, but the new powder fits in there. And so this Clé de Peau powder is the only one I would set my under eye with, because it's so finely milled. And I didn't really want to powder too much, but I just want to make this a little bit more cohesive. Just a little bit of powder. Let's go in with brows. We're going to do some maximalist brows today, because I've got 2 of the Victoria Beckham pencils. I've kind of moved away from dark brown, but I do like when I have both of them on. So we're going to fill in first with taupe. This is, again, Victoria Beckham BabyBlade. And then you'll see the difference. So this one has a really lovely cool tone to it. So let me do both with taupe, and then you can see the difference compared to when I add dark brown, as a way to build a little bit more depth and define it where I want it to find, versus soft, which is the beginning part of the brow. I want soft. Otherwise it looks severe. And then just break it up. This blue is really nice for breaking that up at the front, right there, softening it even more. Just getting rid of any of those really sharp angles. Then let's go in with dark brown. So same product, different shade, dark brown. It's a little bit warmer. There's some elements of red in here. It's not as cool as the taupe. Just really kind of just introducing it to this front part, but not adding distinct lines. And filling it in pretty well here at the arch. Okay, so there's the difference. I really started adding more here versus the front. I didn't touch that front section at all. And you can see that it still builds a nice bold look without being angry looking because it's really, that key is right there in at the starting point. So really not going much further than this. Okay, now we're just going to go in with a little bit of brow gel to keep everything in place. This is the Hourglass Arch, and it's by default become my favorite because I still am not able to find the Jones Road brow product that I love so much in stock in light brown, or light brunette actually is what it's called. So this one, after drying out a bit, is doing well. It's more of a thinner, more lightweight kind of hold. And I have very coarse brows, so I need quite a bit of hold. But I just want to brush them up so they look a little bit more three-dimensional. So it's like up and out. So you can see the actual hairs, because once I go in with pencil, sometimes it gets a little lost. Okay. So now you can see more brow hairs. We're gonna go in next with bronzer, and I do love the bronzer, this one by Dior, but I also love a good powder bronzer. So we're going to go in with this one, and this is also by Dior. This is a powder, which again looks like it's a little bit light for me, but I'm gonna go get my bronzer brush. SONIA G brush, and this is created, if you've not been here before, for powder products that, or powder bronzer specifically, so it does not move any makeup underneath. So I'll do half, just so you can see that it does provide some nice color, even though it doesn't look like it. It looks very close to my skin tone. So this side has bronzer and this one has yet to have bronzer applied. And this one is in the O2 Light. Okay, and then if I wanted to do just a little lip, I would go in, I've been carrying this. I always get my favorite lip products out of my bag, my current bag, because I'm always wearing them. So this is one of them. It's in Pointelle. It's their newest version of the lip oil. I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to do hair, and then I'll show you the other lip that I've been wearing. But really nice and hydrating. It's very easy to apply on the go. Okay, so we'll be, oh, how could I forget blush? I just looked at my face quickly. I'm trying to look more at the camera. I got feedback to please look at the camera more versus the viewfinder, and I look at the viewfinder because I'm trying to make sure I'm centered is one of the reasons, and then to make sure it's in focus. And it's also a bit of a mirror for me because I don't have like a big mirror. It's like these little mirrors here. So I'm trying to talk more directly to the camera. And I just looked in the viewfinder and realized I don't have blush on yet. This is the YSL Blush. It's really pretty. It's in 44. And I had a question about how glowy this was. I don't see individual particles, but it's definitely more of a glow than say the Valentino 09, which I think is in the other room. I'll get it when I do my hair. But this is the color, and this is a Deluxe Kabuki brush by Ray Morris. And I love this for a cool blush. It's really pretty. So you can see there, it really delivers some color and some glow. Now, one thing about bringing it to the front is it adds dimension. Also, there is the risk of emphasizing texture. So there's a very fine balance, not adding too much, but also the reflective quality here kind of deflects the light from the discoloration. So instead of adding more concealer, more coverage, I can also kind of really deter from it by adding a blush with some glow. But the key is to not add too much of the blush. That's really the key. And then I have been loving this combination. So Merit and Stockholm. And since I can't add this all the way in the front because I'm going to have an issue with moving around makeup because it is nice and emollient, which is one of the great things about it. But also if I'm working with makeup that I can't really move around because it'll kind of come apart, it'll start shifting, it's nice to be able to just add it as a pop of color. And then if there's any dryness, because if I do get dry, it will be right here on my face, this helps really keep things looking nice and smooth and plump. Now, let me do my hair and we'll do the other lip. Okay, and you saw that my hair was dry when I was doing my makeup, and I ran the Dyson through it dry. And what I find with that is that my hair actually takes a curl in a really nice way. It's not too much of a curl, but it's more of a wave. So I actually used it to help with the bangs. I did go with a round brush as well, but I realized that barrel on there can actually help curl, because once it's dry, if you don't, or if I don't actually do something styling wise to the bangs, the hair is a little bit harder to get in the direction that I want it to go in. So this is a great lip for something more casual. So it still works really nicely, but this is the other lip that I've been wearing quite a bit. And this one is by Hermès, and it's one of their newer lip products as well. This is that Brilliant Formula in Rose Boise. So if you like that Merit product, but you want a little more coverage, but still some nice hydration, this is really beautiful. Okay, and then for a fragrance. I know I had a request to do Comet, look with Comet, which I will be doing. That's a little bit of a more complex fragrance for me though, so I'm trying to get a handle on it, but this is the one I've been pulling for. This is Jersey, and I like to pick fragrances that I just feel like wearing, and I've been sampling them. As you know, I have several. I'll be doing looks with each one of them. I've done Beige, which was my first one. I love that one. And the next one I did was, what was it? You probably remember more than I do. It was Bel Respiro. That was really beautiful. This one is one I've been pulling for, and it's Jersey. And I like to just kind of test them all out, really just pull through the ones that I'm feeling like will fit the actual mood that I'm in, or the time of year, or the look I've put together. And I've pulled a lot for Jersey, which makes sense. And I just sprayed like the teeniest, tiniest little bit here because I don't like a lot of fragrance, but I really do enjoy fragrance, just not too much. It says it unites delicate lavender with a creamy accord of bourbon vanilla heightened by notes of white musk, which is really pretty for this time of the year. Definitely sense that musk in there at first, but as it dries down, that lavender is really pretty. It's a very sophisticated lavender because lavender can tend to be a little bit more common, but not in fragrance as much. But the scent of lavender to me is very familiar. We would grow lavender shrubs under our window in our previous home, and when we would open the windows, you could smell that lavender. It's a really pretty scent, but I love how it's mixed in there with that musk, again, anchoring it. But that is it for today's Get Ready With Me. Let me know what you have been loving lately. This is technically March favorites. We are well into April. Even the filming of this, we are well into April, but some things get pushed back because of certain sales that are going on, like the Sephora sale. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of those items that I highlighted in that video featured again today. And then just showing you the versatility of that Dior foundation with that glow in there. I think it's a really lovely finish. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. So we're going to go ahead, oh my gosh, almost just dropped it. This is in 48, this is a Rouge Hermès,